Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving straight into a story of staggering wealth, unimaginable journeys, and a completely secret, ancient version of globalization. When we think of the ancient Roman Empire, we usually picture this absolute, self-sufficient superpower just overflowing with gold and pearls. But there's a huge twist here. Their most extravagant luxuries? They actually weren't found anywhere near Europe.
So, where exactly did the mighty Roman Empire get its absolute best luxuries? Take a second to really think about it. The exotic foods they ate, the lavish silks they wore, those magnificent pearls adorning their queens. Where did it all come from? To find the answer, they had to look far, far beyond their own borders.
And here is the shocking truth. Rome's secret engine was ancient South India, specifically the land known as Tamilak, which we know today as the modern-day regions of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Ruled by the great Chera, Chola, and Pandya kings, the Roman Empire was directly, and I mean heavily, dependent on these specific South Indian kingdoms to sustain their lavish lifestyle.
All right, here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. Rome's secret dependency. 2. Land routes versus sea routes. 3. The lure of black gold. 4. Mastering the monsoon winds. 5. Unearthing the evidence. And finally, 6. The fall of Roman trade. Let's get into it.
Starting right off with Section 1, Rome's secret dependency, the wealth sourced from Tamiyo sands.
It's kind of hard to wrap your head around, right? But Roman luxury was fundamentally built on the resources gathered from Tamil Nadu and Kerala. They weren't just buying little souvenirs, they were importing the very foundations of high-class Roman life. We're talking about absolutely crucial medical spices, lavish cotton that actually draped Roman royalty, priceless gems, and incredibly rare pearls meant exclusively for their queens. Rome essentially treated South India like their ultimate exclusive luxury boutique.
Moving right along to Section 2, land routes versus sea routes, a tale of two Indian trades.
To really grasp how this ancient supply chain worked, you have to look at India's two completely distinct trade profiles. Up in the north, trade was entirely overland and indirect. Romans had to use middlemen, mostly the Greeks, just to get northern cotton and Central Asian horses. But South India? That was a totally different game. Because it's surrounded by ocean on three sides, and with the Cheras, Cholas, and Pandyas firmly controlling the coasts, South India absolutely dominated direct international sea trade.
Which brings us to Section 3. The lure of black gold, the ultimate motivation.
I mean, crossing thousands of miles of ancient, treacherous oceans required massive motivation. What was literally worth risking your life for? Black gold. Today, black pepper is just a common spice sitting in your kitchen cabinet. But in the ancient world, South Indian pepper was found literally nowhere else on Earth. The Romans were so absolutely obsessed with it, using it for both food and medicine, that they exchanged it directly for pure Roman gold.
But you know, the wealth flowing from these shores went far beyond just pepper. Roman ships were completely loaded down with sparkling pearls from Korkai in the Gulf of Mannar, completely flawless diamonds, and rare spices. All of this flowed out of massive, bustling international ports, places like Muziris, Archimedu, and Urayur. The sheer volume of wealth changing hands here would honestly rival modern international trade hubs.
Let's look at how they pulled this off in Section 4, mastering the monsoon winds, crossing the ocean. So how exactly did they survive this colossal journey? Well, it all came down to an ancient scientific breakthrough. Step 1. A Greek astronomer named Hippolus uncovers the secret rhythm of the seasonal monsoon winds. Step 2. Armed with this new knowledge, Roman ships realize they can completely bypass the treacherous coastlines and those greedy land middlemen entirely. And Step 3, they harness these massive winds to shoot straight across the Arabian Sea, directly to South India. This single discovery essentially unlocked ancient global maritime trade as we know it. Okay, let's talk proof in Section 5, unearthing the evidence, the proof beneath the sand. Now you might be wondering, is this all just ancient mythology? Absolutely not. When modern archaeologists started digging in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, they found something truly shocking. 130. I want you to just process that number for a second. They haven't just found a stray coin here or there. They found ancient Roman coins, including pure gold from the era of Emperor Augustus, in over 130 separate locations across Tamil Nadu. It proves an unbelievable scale of sustained, direct international business.
And the physical evidence goes way, way beyond just money. At Patanum, which was the ancient port of Muziris, archaeologists pulled up actual Roman ceramics and glass.
Over in Alleganculum, they unearthed perfectly preserved Roman lamps and massive storage jars. But most astonishingly, at Aricamidu, they found actual Roman wine jars, ancient Italian maps, and evidence of physical Roman settlements. They weren't just visiting, they were actually setting up shop.
And the coolest part is that historical texts from both sides confirm this perfectly. Ancient Tamil Sangam literature beautifully describes Yavana ships, Yavana meaning foreigners or Romans, appearing like mountains, bringing gold and wine. And the documentation went both ways. Greco-Roman books, like the Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, meticulously document these exact Tamil kings, the bustling port of Muziris, and this massive booming exchange of goods.
Because look, this wasn't just a quick financial transaction. This was a deep, highly integrated cultural exchange. Sangam literature confirms that these Roman Yavanas actually lived permanently right there in Tamilakam. In fact, the relationship was so intimate and trusted that Roman soldiers actually served as guards within local Tamil armies. They lived there fully integrated into society and even built structures utilizing distinct Roman architecture right on South Indian soil.
Which unfortunately brings us to Section 6, the fall of Roman trade, the end of an era.
Sadly, all golden ages have got to come to a close. So how did such an incredibly lucrative network finally collapse? Well, it happened in a pretty rapid sequence. First, the Roman Empire fractures, completely consumed by deep internal chaos. Second, this massive instability leads to the ultimate fall of the Western Roman Empire, and the gold? It simply stops flowing. Finally, as Rome falls, Arab traders, who were already highly skilled oceanic navigators, step right in. They take complete control of the Arabian sea routes, and that ushers in a whole new era of cultural and religious exchange across South India.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. Think about this for a second. If the mighty Roman Empire, literally the undisputed superpower of its day, relied almost entirely on the kingdoms of ancient South India for its greatest luxuries, just how interconnected was the ancient world? It proves that thousands of years before the internet or cargo planes, pure human ambition, a handful of black pepper, and the monsoon winds were entirely enough to link whole continents together. Thanks so much for joining me, and keep questioning the history you think you know.